Hope you're doing good. It's been a while. It's been a while since I recorded one. It's been a while since I released one, and I'm sorry for that. But, like I said, there's no more schedule, and so when life gets busy, I put the side projects on the burner. But, since I'm not working for the summer, and I'm just enjoying life this summer, I figured I have a little bit of time this week, so let's make some videos. So yes, today I am back with a brand new video for you, brand new stories, brand new things that I hope you enjoy. So, without further ado, let's get into it, because you already know what this video is about, because in the title it says Top 10 Live Concerts I've Seen. That is what we were talking about today. We are talking about my top 10 concerts that I have gone to see. And let me tell you, what a pain in the ass it was to compile this list. Not because, it's hard. I have seen 112 different artists and 130 shows in total. That's a lot of shows to go through and weed out the ones that stand out the most to you. And I think I did it. I think the list I have compiled is pretty good. So I found 10, but the problem is I have like 5 honourable mentions as well. But, yeah, how did I come up with the top 10? Well, I went back into my head and I used my memory. So the first criteria, I divided it into 2 criteria. The first criteria is memorableness, and then the quality of the performance. Alright? So in memorableness, we have things like how much I remember, because some shows, like my first show, AC/DC, some shows, are quite a long time ago. But since AC/DC was so long ago, I was like 12, 10, 11, around there. Since it was so long ago, if I can remember a lot of things from that show, that's how I know it was a memorable concert. And that's how I kind of looked at most of the concerts as well. Was it memorable? Another little branch off of that criteria is there a story related to it? Was there something that happened during the concert or getting to the concert or after the concert that added to this memorableness? And obviously the feelings and the emotions I felt during the show. Obviously, feelings and like nostalgia and stuff like that. It makes you can feel those feelings stronger with certain artists, and so that played into factors for criteria 1. Then criteria 2 was the quality of the artist's performance, and basically that just was it a good performance from the artist. Obviously, I've seen a hell of a lot of shows with phenomenal performances from the artist, but it also helped me weed out some of the ones where I was like, it was a good show, but I found the quality could have been better or something like that. So that is how I came up with my list of top 10 concerts I have seen. So, without further ado, let's get into it, because it might be a little bit of a long one, but let's get into it. The first, number 10. We're going from 10 to 1. So 1 being the best, 10 being not necessarily not the best, but like the lowest on this list. Alright, without further ado, let's go. Number 10 is... Don't know if you can hear that, but it is Ghost. The band Ghost from Sweden. I saw them November 11th. The first time I saw them was November 11th in 2016. So day after my birthday. I remember it was kind of a birthday present from Thomas. And I went with my brother, Thomas, his dad, and just Thomas, his dad, me, and my brother. And we went, and this was the first time I saw Ghost. I saw Ghost in 2022, and phenomenal, both times. But the reason I put this on the list at number 10, and the reason I put it instead of the other Ghost show, is because it was the first time I saw Ghost. And Ghost is a band that I've since fallen in more and more love with. I loved them when I went and saw them, but my love has grown for them more and more, and I'm so happy I got to see them, because on this set list here in 2016, there's songs that they didn't play in 2022, and so I liked it more. why I chose that one is just because it was the first one. It's the first time I saw this band. It was phenomenal, and I remember every song. I remember this song, Square Hammer. The reason I picked it was because, the show starts. The whole show is a theatrical thing. From the start, the sound check, a guy comes out with a mask and a whole robe thing, and he goes and tests the drums to make sure the drums are on sound. And there's these people who walk in with incense, and then the show starts with this song, and it rips into the guitar, and then the first words, Papa Emeritus is standing there with a ginormous beam of light, like he's descended from above. A phenomenal show. The whole show is theatrical. Honestly, go see Ghost if you haven't seen them. But I also pulled out all the shirts that I do have. I don't have shirts for every artist on my top 10, but this was the first shirt I bought from Ghost. Ghost Pope Star. This is the back. Montreal's up here about, right there-ish. Montreal. 2016. Pretty cool. Also a wicked design. You don't see that too often. You see just dates labeled like that, but this is kind of cool. Then I also got this cool $666. They throw they shoot these out of cannons at the show, along with confetti. This is sick. The amount of detail into this band. So it was a really memorable show because of that. There's a lot of awesome things that happened during it. The quality of the performance with Ghost is always phenomenal. So yeah, that's why Ghost is number 10. Alright, moving on to number 9. Let's go. What do we got? Weird Al Yankovic. And Weird Al Yankovic is kind of an oddball choice. You wouldn't expect it. But number 9 is Weird Al because it was a great show. Why I put it ahead of Ghost, I really don't know. But I remember the feeling of joy and happiness and laughter. Because Weird Al, for those who don't know, Weird Al is a guy who does parodies of songs. You should all know that. But he does parodies of songs. And it's phenomenal. The performance, the quality of the performance really is what shines here. So obviously the memorableness, I remember quite a bit of it. It was only 2015. That's not, I was end of high school. I was 17, 18. So, I remember a good bit of it. There's stories related to it. It was at Blues Fest, at Le Breton Flats, Ottawa Blues Fest, July 19th, 2015. The feelings was just so happy and laughing. It was stupid. It was a great show. But the quality of the performance is what really made this enter my top 10. Is because, he's phenomenal. The amount of costume changes that happen, not just at Weird Al though, but the whole band changes costumes as well at times. The choice of songs they played. I have the set list here. Phenomenal set list. Hilarious songs on there. Literally just a greatest hits plus some of his new songs, which is the song we're playing now is Foil, and it's a great song. And then just the quality, his band was so tight. They were tight as hell, and that's why it entered number 9, and that's why it's on the top 10, is just because the quality of the artists blew my mind. Not the artists, the musicians blew my mind. I could not believe how phenomenal Weird Al and his band were. Unfortunately, Weird Al, I did not have any merch. It was at a festival, and I was still young. I didn't have a lot of money. I went with my parents. So, but Weird Al, phenomenal. Go check him out if you ever have the chance, because the performance is awesome. Next up, on number 8, we have... It'll take a moment for you to hear it, but when it kicks in, you'll recognize it. Alan Parsons Project. The Alan Parsons Live Project. Alan Parsons Live Project is at number 8, and there's a reason for that is because, well, the reason it's on the top 10 is because the memorableness of this trip, it really, there's a whole bunch of stories related to this trip and this concert that just boosted it up to the top 10. So, obviously, Alan Parsons, for those who don't know, is a legendary record producer. He worked on the Beatles, Pink Floyd, Al Stewart. The list goes on and on and on. But he also has a phenomenal catalog and discography of his own music that actually is really awesome. And Alan Parsons was playing at the Salle Wilfrid Pelletier, otherwise known as the Place d'Art, Place des Arts, in Montreal. This took place on March 10th, 2015, which is my good friend Dylan Prine's birthday, and that's why we were going up. We were going to see Alan Parsons for his birthday. It was me, Dylan, my other friend Dylan, the bass player Dylan. We went to a church camp, and we were counselors there. And the priest, the guy who was giving all the Bibles, sermons and stuff like that at church camp, he was our driver. And then, so it was a really cool, first off, just going to a concert with the some of my best friends, and as well, the Mead, he's a really cool guy. I love him. But then you get to the show, right, and we brought records, and we wanted Mr. Alan Parsons to sign them, and security said they'll do our best. So then after the show happens. We're waiting for the show to our records to come back down after they were signed, and then somehow, don't know what happened, but somehow we ended up getting VIP after show tickets here. VIP after show Place d'Art for Alan Parsons. I don't know. The guy who drove us up talked to the guys there, and somehow we managed to meet Alan Parsons, and I'll post some photos here and stuff like that. We met Alan Parsons and the whole band, and it was a phenomenal experience, and wow. And it blew my mind. What a phenomenal experience. So obviously that's why it's reached, it's in my top 10, is because the amount of stories related to it, as well as the show itself, the quality of the performance. Obviously Alan Parsons is not going to slouch and have crappy musicians, or it wouldn't be a great show. It was a phenomenal show. Great show. The stories related to it really add to it. The feelings of the show, plus all the feelings of meeting. This is the first time I actually met like a huge music icon, and yeah, I remember a good bit of it. So there you go. That's why it's in number 8. All right, number 7. Here we go with Megadeth. All right. So what do I have to say about Megadeth? Well, I can tell you one thing: they kick ass. Megadeth is a band that kicks ass. And I put the second time I saw them, actually, I've seen them twice. So the first time I saw them was 2022 with Lamb of God. I put the second time I saw them. And reason being, because we were a little closer, but I found the show was just, the set list was much more awesome, intense, just everything worked so well. And like they did 2 encores, which was sick. Like I remember a lot because it was literally like May 11th, 2023. But like Dave Mustaine is such a performer, and like he's got such a presence on stage. Even though most of the show he's shredding the guitar, but it's just the presence. And then the whole crowd was singing along. It was a really good show. The feelings I got were just like, I was like, it was free. I was like, I was rocking heavy, headbanging. My neck hurt the other day. It was an awesome show. And, that's why it's up in number 7. That's why it's up at number 7, because it was a really great time. Had a great time with some great people, and the show was just blew my mind. So I got this shirt. That show. Whoops. Oh, come on now. You're on camera. Don't fall down. So we got this sick shirt. And then we got, this is the back. And it's pretty cool because all of us got different shirts, other than me and Thomas's brother. We ended up sharing the same shirt. I also got this sick glow in the dark bandana. It's really cool. So that was Megadeth. It was sick, phenomenal show. All right, coming in at number 6, we've got. You don't recognize it yet, but I'll tell you. It is Yukon Blonde, one of my favorite bands of all time. I've seen them 4 times, so it was hard to pick one. But the one that I picked was the one that they played, the show that they played literally down the street at my local university. So every year for orientation week they have a concert, and Yukon Blonde was one of the acts for the opening week concerts, and I was like, what? No way! So I went down. And I was super pumped because I've seen them already twice by this time. So the fact that they're playing down the street in my local town at my university that I was going to blew my mind. So right there, obviously, it means a lot to me, this concert, right? And then they play the show. This song, this album just came out. Critical Hip. Fantastic album, still one of my favorite albums for sure. And the show goes on, phenomenal time. Everyone's having fun, dancing. We were front row. I was singing all the songs, and afterwards I met up with the drummer. I met up with the singer. I got the singer a beer, but I was also able to get another set list, and I kept it clean. So this is the set list from that show. You see here, these are all the songs. And fantastic show. I met with them after. I got some photos with them. It was a great show, honestly, phenomenal show, and that's why it's in my top 10. Is because not the fact that it's just down the street, but it's like it felt so. Like the feeling was like, wow, like these guys, one of my favorite groups that I've been following for years. They're playing in my hometown. Which, maybe people in Montreal don't necessarily get that same feeling because thousands of artists play in Montreal every year. But, not many come down to Lennoxville, Quebec, and play a show here. So, it was cool to see Yukon Blonde here in Lennoxville. Moving on to number 5. Now we're in the top 5. So, number 5 is Buddy Guy. June 30th, 2023. So literally a couple weeks ago, almost a month ago. And the song I'm playing is Feels Like Rain. This performance from Buddy Guy, I've seen Buddy Guy twice. I saw him in 2011, and then I saw him just a couple weeks ago. And wow, as you can see by the shirt up here too, this is the shirt I got. Wow. Wow. Like, it was also a show with the same people I went to, with Alan Parsons, Dylan, bass player Dylan, and Dylan Prine there. Same guys. And it's Buddy Guy. He's a legend. He's a legend of the blues. And, seeing him, I saw him in 2011. It was great. And I was, wow, awesome. But seeing him in my current musical mind, just blew my mind. I could not get over the fact that I was seeing Buddy Guy. The power, the soul, and to add more to it. He's 86. It's his farewell tour. This is the last time I will ever get to see him. He's 86. Obviously, I remember so much about it because it literally just happened. But the performance alone, the quality of the artist's performance was phenomenal. Buddy Guy at 86, you'd think he's still 42 or 27. The age does not matter with Buddy Guy. He still rocks, shreds the crap out of the guitar. He was whipping his guitar with a little handkerchief. He was playing with a drumstick. The show was phenomenal. And when he played Feels Like Rain, it I cried. I literally had tears in my eyes at this show, and that's why it went up so far. Like it's a really recent concert. It's probably it is the most recent concert I've seen on this list. But it's because it just, wow, I can't describe the feelings I felt, watching Buddy Guy live. It was a phenomenal show, and I'm so happy that I got to see Buddy Guy's farewell tour. And also, I got this cool little pick thing here, and I got the normal picks. These come with it. They're cool little Buddy Guy. Say Buddy Guy. It says Buddy Guy. Damn right, farewell tour. And then something cool at the end of the show happened. Is we got a guitar pick from the other guitar player who plays with Buddy. He kicks ass as well, but I got a pick that says, it's hard to see, but it says Buddy Guy. Come on, focus there. Focus. Buddy Guy, and it says, the blues don't lie. This thing I will cherish forever is I got a pick from Buddy Guy on his farewell tour. So, I am so happy to have seen Buddy Guy, and that's why it comes in at number 5, because it was just overall phenomenal performance, and I do agree. I do think that Dylan will agree with me. It's probably in their top 10s as well. Alrighty. Next up at number 4, we've got... Boom! Might not be able to hear it yet, but it is Black Sabbath. Yes, Black Sabbath. This one right here. This shirt right here. Black Sabbath. The End Tour. I saw Black Sabbath twice. I saw them in 2013 when they were 2014, when they were touring their newest album, their newest album, 13. But I chose The End because, kind of like Buddy Guy, it's the last time that I would have, it was the last time I could have seen Black Sabbath. And it's phenomenal. 2016 is not long ago, so I remember a lot about it. The stories related to it. It was a phenomenal show. But the feeling of seeing Black Sabbath, first time I saw them was like, wow, I'm seeing Black Sabbath. Holy crap. Right? But the second time I see them, I'm like I was just in awe. I'm like, wow, I'm here for their final tour. I couldn't believe it. And, people give Ozzy shit for sounding, not necessarily as he used to, but obviously not. When he was singing in Black Sabbath, he was 20, and I saw him and he was 70 or late 60s. Phenomenal. So the performance, artist performance was phenomenal. The show was phenomenal. Got a 6 shirt. I'll always remember that show. It was an awesome, awesome show. And Black Sabbath's a band I grew up with, and my dad saw Black Sabbath, not with Ozzy, but my mom never got to see Black Sabbath, which unfortunately, because she loves Black Sabbath, she loves it. And I picked Fairies Wear Boots because it's her favorite song as well. But yeah, Black Sabbath, phenomenal show, and I was so happy to see it, so that's why it comes in at number 4. All right, number 3. I'm trying to speed it up a little bit here. Number 3, we got to go back, way back to 2009. 2009 is the year that I saw, on August 8th, AC/DC. This was my first real big concert in a stadium. It was in the Big O. It was actually stupid. Why did we have AC/DC at the Big O? I don't know. But it had to be on there. I remember so much about this concert. I remember the whole floor shaking because when Back in Black came on, the whole upper levels was just... I remember the cannons for those about to rock. Bang! Cannons would fire off. Psh, the fireworks show that happened after. Angus Young spinning around on the platform 30 feet in the air. Malcolm Young being there. I could go on. The list could go on and on and on for AC/DC of what made this event so important to me and why it jumped up to number 3. When I was going through, I already knew AC/DC was going to be on the list. I knew it already. But when I went through the list, I was like, it's gonna be higher than I think. And then I finally got to number 3, and I was like, I feel comfortable. I feel all right putting it there. And you know, it was one of the shows I went and saw with my dad's best friend who passed away last summer. And it'll always be a memory I have with him. So, you know, obviously, it's a little worn. I had a shirt in 2009. I bought a shirt. This is what's left of it. It still says AC/DC. You can see that there are people here. And then if you turn it around, it's AC/DC 2009, Montreal, somewhere over here. But it was the Rock and Roll Train tour. And I loved it. It was a fantastic show, and I'm so happy I got to see AC/DC, and I hope I get to see them again. There's rumors for 2024, who knows, but yeah, that's number 3. Let's move on to number 2. Number 2, here we go. Number 2 is it's a special one for me. I saw the Tragically Hip, not once, but twice. I saw them, a lot of these ones I've seen twice. But the Tragically Hip I saw twice. I saw them in 2013 and I saw them in 2015. And obviously, you guys, like most of you know, 2016, Gord, they did their final tour, and then 2017, Gord passed away. So, you know, this was literally the last opportunity I could have to see Tragically Hip without knowing it, right? Because when I saw the Tragically Hip, I wasn't a diehard, oh my god, I know all the words to this band's songs. I knew a lot of songs, and I was really just starting to get into Tragically Hip when I saw them, and I loved them the first time I saw them. But this time they did something. They played Fully Completely, which is by far one of their greatest albums of all time. But they played the whole album in its entirety at Blues Fest. Ottawa Blues Fest is where I saw it in 2015. And they played 21 songs. And, you know, that's impressive on a normal night. But they did it, and the place was packed. It was a party. The feelings were awesome. And it was piss pouring rain. It was pouring rain, like torrential downpour, the whole goddamn show. Other than, like, maybe, I don't know, like 5-10 minutes here and there, it would stop and light up. But it was pouring rain the whole show, right until the end. They ended up playing Blow at High Dough as the final song, which is this one. And I found, I don't know, I think it was their last song, but they turned it up. Like, you can visually hear when they kick into the song, you can audibly hear, like, I don't know, the sound guy just must have been, like, turned it up, because you just hear they cranked it, and the whole crowd's dancing, rain's pouring down. It was a phenomenal show. And obviously the walk back, still pouring rain. We all walked into the hotel, and the hotel lobby is just like a big puddle because a lot of people were staying there for Blues Fest, right? It's one of those, it's the Tragically Hip. I love the Tragically Hip. They're one of my favorite bands. And the fact that I got to see Gord, live, it brings a tear to my eye, because I love that man. I love how wonderfully poetic he is, and I just love everything he's done for Canadian music, and also for so many charities and stuff like that. But the quality of the artist's performance was phenomenal. Like, Tragically Hip, so tight, always have been, but so tight. Gord's funny, doing poses and fishing, pretending he's fishing. At one point, he's scooting across the stage. Great show. All right, I gotta go, because it's getting long, right? All right, next up we have number 1. Number 1 is Rush. Right here, Rush. I didn't think Rush would be number 1, but I loved it so much, and it's there's a lot to it. So I remember a lot because, you know, it's 2013. 10 years ago, I was 16. So I do remember a lot, right? And it was a great show. They played. They were the only ones on that stage that night at Blues Fest. A lot of them are at Blues Fest as well. But they were the only ones on stage that night. On that stage that night. So me and my dad got in line around 7. No, sorry. What's 7? 2. The grounds opened at like 3 or 4. We got in line around 2:33. I wanted to be close to the stage. So the gates finally open at 3-ish, I think. 4 maybe. And we go in. And I go grab 2 bottles of water, a little bit of food, and then I go to the front of the stage. I say, "See you later, Dad. We'll meet up later." Then I go, and I'll show photos of everything, right? And you'll see how close I am. I'm very close for Rush. And there's no other artists on that stage because they have quite the stage set up. So it's literally like 4 hours of just standing around, waiting, talking with people. I met some really cool people. I had great conversations. But then Rush came out. And Rush blew my socks off. Seeing one of my drumming role models, Neil Peart, like live, but like live close, like not on my screen or not like up in a stadium, seeing him very close, like I still can't process the fact that I saw Neil Peart that close. And they just, the performance was awesome. It was the Clockwork Angels tour, so they had a whole Clockwork Angels string ensemble where they played a bunch of tunes with like this string ensemble, and it was phenomenal. They played some old songs. They played 2112 in its entirety, pretty much. They played YYZ, Spirit of the Radio, Headlong Flight, Limelight, Where's My Thing, drum solo. And it was just a great trip. It was just me and my dad on this one, and that was the first year I saw Tragically Hip as well as Weezer, and we went to, we had a great time in Ottawa, and so it was a nice trip for me and my dad. It was also it's one of my favorite bands, and like Rush. Hello, Rush. So yeah, that wraps up the top 10. Rush is number 1, and I'm not upset with that at all. One of my favorite bands, and I got to see them July 8th, 2013. And as you know, we'll never get to see Neil Peart again. So to be able to say that I saw Neil Peart, it's awesome. Couple honorable mentions before we finish it out. We have, let's go quickly on this. We have Steel Panther. Steel Panther is very much like Weird Al. The reason I say that, they're stupid. It's silly. It's a great show. Go check it out. I got this awesome koozie, as well as this sick band shirt with cool dates on the back. Awesome show. Phenomenal. Go check it out. Definitely an honorable mention. Next honorable mention is Dua Lipa. She kicked ass. I saw her twice last summer. Both shows were great, but the one at the Bell Center was a little better. But Dua Lipa, awesome shirt, phenomenal performance. Not bad to look at either. But seriously, phenomenal show. Next up as well, I had Red Hot Chili Peppers to add. I have a hat and a shirt. I didn't pull them out. But a phenomenal set, phenomenal show, phenomenal trip, awesome time. It's definitely in my top 50. This is my top 15, basically. The honorable mentions. Fantastic set list. Awesome. Great performance. Then we have Peter Frampton. I saw at Blues Fest in 2011. He was a phenomenal show. I loved it. I had a great time watching Peter Frampton, and he played Frampton Comes Alive, like the 35th anniversary of this album. He played the whole thing in its entirety. So, awesome. Then, Deep Purple is an honorable mention, also saw at Blues Fest. Phenomenal performance as well. Deep Purple is a legend, and I was so happy to see them. And then, finally, we have Glass Animals last year at Osheaga. It was actually a really awesome show, and I was so happy to see it. The feelings were very, it was like summer, and they're singing awesome songs, and the sun's going down, and it was a beautiful day. Awesome. That's why they're on there. And that's it. That is what my top 10 concerts of all time have been so far. Still got a lot of concerts to see, but that's a hell of a list, and I'm actually kind of proud of myself for being able to narrow it down to a concise list like that. And that's all I got for you today. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Sorry for the length. It's a little longer. I'm going to edit it down so it won't be what it's telling me right now. But thank you for watching today. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you have a great rest of your day. I hope you have a great rest of your week or month. And I will see you very soon. I will try my best to do a couple videos, a couple more videos throughout the summer. I'm fairly busy. But this is a side project, right? So it's whenever I have the time, you'll get a new video. But I hope you've enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching. Remember to go subscribe, like. I'm going to post some more shorts soon coming up. And, yeah, go check out all those artists on my list because you will not be disappointed, although some of you can't check out anymore. But the ones who are still touring, go do it. Peace.